Welcome back to the VR room. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the VR room, where Americans talk football. No, we're leaving the soccer to the Americans, even though we're American and we don't say soccer, but we're saying
Never.
football. Football.
Football.
Thank you to our subscribers. Make sure you destroy that like button, like destroy it. Destroy it.
Smash that,
See
yes.
Smash that. Thank you to all of you. And this week we'll be talking about our favorite managers and how they've done so far in the Premier League now that we're in the festive period. So, Jim, who is your favorite manager? And you can't say Mourinho because he's parked the bus merchant.
Yeah, Mourinho's not my favorite so far because he lost today against Leicester. It should have been a pretty smooth win for us. You know, we're usually strong against Leicester. Sonny always scores, and I thought Sonny was going to do something, you know, after winning the Puskas Award. And we also had Harry playing. And it was a little disappointing play, you know, a lot of disappointment, and don't see promising consistency from Mourinho. You know, we've been doing top 5 in this season, but can we win the title? At this pace, I don't know. It doesn't look like it, you know, our defensive lineup, and we just played way too passive. So I think Mourinho, I like him as a coach. I support him for his Tottenham Hotspur, where he brought us for what we are today. But I wouldn't say he's not my favorite coach in EPL. In EPL, I would say my favorite coach right now is, let's see, I would say Ancelotti from Everton. I think Ancelotti is a great coach because he really turned Everton around. Like, look at last season and previous season, how Everton played. They were just mid-level table team, you know. They were 8th, they were 12th, and they were 8th. They're always been there, like all around, like never really close to relegation, but they were just average team, not too threatening to the top 5 levels. They were just there. But, you know, with Ancelotti, they bought a lot of good players. This transfer made some crucial transfer. James Rodriguez, I think he's injured out now, but until now he had very good games. With just overall the midfielders, it got strengthened a lot. Richarlison is doing well, and Alan, that was a great signing. Super aggressive and very tough in defending. And Calvert-Lewin, he really brought the best out of Calvert-Lewin as well. He's on form right now, and I just think that Everton doesn't really have like the most expensive squad, I would say, in the EPL, but like they just have a really good chemistry and really good balance of the attacking and midfield and defending. They just have a really good balance. And yeah, at this pace, like I definitely see that Everton can definitely make Europa or Champions League, or maybe win the title too if the players just keep up. But yeah, it looks like Ancelotti did a very good job. He's one of the greatest coaches in the world, and a lot of coaches and players respect him. So it's good to see players work under him, you know. So yeah, that's my take. That's my very favorite coach of the season so far. Yeah, what about you?
Well, I'll have to say Hasenhüttl from Southampton. He's been immense with them.
Yeah.
Compared to where they were last season after getting trashed 9, was it 9-0 to Leicester?
Mm-hmm. It was like 7, right?
No, it was 9. It was 9.
9-0?
Yeah, they got trashed 9-0 by Leicester last season, and they stuck by their manager. I give them props for that because most teams would just fire a manager after an embarrassing scoreline like that. But they stuck with him, gave him some reinforcements in the summer. I think they brought in Danny Ings. I think they brought him in.
Oh, what a player. What a player.
Yeah, they brought him in. They got a few more players as well, and they look a real force, you know. And it's pretty exciting because they're not playing bad. They're 6th in the table right now, and they're not even playing bad football. They're playing pretty decent football. They have the physicality. They have the technical magician in James Ward-Prowse, who he's a phenomenal footballer, by the way. They have a pretty solid defense with what's it called? Vestergaard and Benrick and Kyle Walker-Peters. He's such a young talent. I don't know why Spurs let him go.
Mm,
Like he's exceptional. He had a great game this weekend as well. But overall, I
yeah.
think he's found the balance in that squad, and it's really good right now. And they're playing really good football, and I really enjoy watching them. Like,
Bro,
and he's done a great job with them.
they have Nathan Redmond on bench.
They have so many good players. They have Janepo, who I think he has great potential. I call him a dribble merchant that doesn't know how to dribble. He needs to learn how to dribble a little more, but when he does pull it off, he's pretty good. So
Yeah,
yeah, Hassan Hilton.
your boy Theo Walcott's there doing well after leaving Arsenal. What's going on?
Nah, nah, I can't stand Theo Walcott. I prayed for him to be good at Arsenal for how many years? And he was never that good at Arsenal, man. But now he looks like a fucking prime Alexis Sanchez. Like what's going on?
Che Adams, man, that guy's he's solid. He's
He's a
solid.
he's a beast. Physical, has some good footwork too. For a big man like that, him and Danny Ings, they have incredible footwork for such big players of their caliber, you know.
Yeah.
And they have a great partnership up there, both of them. So Hassan Hutel he's a fairly decent coach considering the squad he has. Like imagine him in a squad with like at like Chelsea or something where they have like the money to burn. Like but maybe he won't be good in that type of squad, you know? Because maybe you have to deal with the ego of like some of those big players, you know, big international stars. I think that's a big challenge for most managers of like big clubs, you know.
Big challenge for players too, playing under like with these big names. And Southampton, it's like I think you can just play the football style that you want to picture. It's easier to do
Mhm.
that, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the coach has a lot of trust in them and they want to fight for the manager. They have the passion, they're fighting for the team. And I think that's the difference between most big teams and like the mid-level teams. Personally,
Mm.
because like the big teams, the big star players, they know like, yeah, I'm a big star. I've done it in the past. Got a big money move. I'm on a big salary. Well, if I don't do it this week, it'll be okay. You know, I'm a big star. You know,
Yeah.
nothing's really gonna happen. But like with the lower level teams or mid-table teams, they have something to fight for. They're fighting for pride. And I think we kind of saw that when Leicester won the Premier League. Because like they didn't have the most expensive squad, but they did have the fight, the desire, the pride,
Hmm.
and they won the league. And that kind of just shows that a little passion, pride, and everything can win you the league, basically.
I think they just did a really good job of discovering the talents and then letting them play and giving them opportunities. And it was at the right environment because they had a lot of playing times and a lot of new room for experiment because they were just trying out Premier League in a long time, moving up from Championship and all. And look at all these players from Leicester now. They're all in. Most of them are in EPL, and then they are doing really good. Most of them are like key parts of a lot of teams. So I think they did a really good job raising. Raising and finding the talent overall.
Yeah, I think one thing that I feel again, I'm always comparing big clubs to smaller clubs, is that the big clubs, if they don't get the best out of like certain players, they can just buy another one, you know,
Yeah.
that fits it. But these smaller clubs, I have to give these managers props because like Hassan Hutel has found the perfect balance, getting the best of Danny Ings, Che Adams, finding that balance, that partnership and everything. It's a pretty hard task, you know, because he basically knows his best 11. He gets the best out of them, really, and he plays to their strengths. And I don't think most managers in big teams do that. They're like, well, this is a big name signing. I have to play him anyway. So let's put him here. This is his position and kind of let him freestyle, you know? But like some managers, they kind of get the best out of them and play to their strengths. You know?
That's a good point. You know, when you look at that, that reminds me of Daniel Farke from Norwich City. Like, even though they got relegated, they had a terrible season last season, and they were patient with him. And they're back in championship now, but they're doing really well. They're still number one, and fans are still on his side, I would say. And you know, like it's all patience and giving the managers opportunity to it. When Leicester sacked Ranieri, like I was pretty shocked because the man had just one bad season, right? And
Yeah.
he didn't even get. It wasn't like they got relegated or anything, but they just, yeah, they just sacked him. So I was pretty surprised to see that. And yeah, just gotta be. I think fans just need to be more patient with the managers too, because it takes time and luck too, and just, yeah, a lot of process, a lot of things to need to be worked on, a lot of different aspects that we don't see. So yeah.
Let me ask you this, Jim. This is
Yes.
probably going to be a long question. Do you think the way football is going now is that since it's a result-driven business, that
Yeah.
managers are not given the time to actually build their team and do something like in the previous? And I bring this back to the example of Jurgen Klopp, because when he first came to Liverpool, Liverpool was shocking, but they
Mm.
believed in him. They gave him time. They let him connect with the fans, gave him the money, and recruited smartly to build his team. And he arguably has the best team in Europe now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think, do you think most managers don't get that time now? It's like, oh, come in, you probably get a manager bounce. You don't even give them time to build their own team, and you're like, well, they're not getting results, you're out the door. Then the cycle just keeps repeating. Do you think that's what's happening now? That's what football has turned to?
Oh yeah, dude. I think it's really depends on the team, but you know, it reminds me of the, like, the Sunderland documentary. Like, there's so much going on in the clubs, inside the club, like dealing with the relegation battle and just fans being angry with the manager and stuff. Like, one thing I noticed was that um they were just replacing, like, the blames were just going to the manager because nothing was going right. And I don't think it was the manager's fault, but like everything was going to the manager's fault. So if it's that case, when the new manager comes to a new club just for the replacement sake because the fans are so mad, like, for like we just need some thing to just burn the heat off for a little bit, like that's gonna be the same result. Like, with the new manager, like nothing's gonna change. Like, the structure of the club is same, like the management, it's all the same, the players are all the same. Like, there's not much that one coach can do so differently, I would say, to change that overall structure. Like it has to, like you said, like it has to change everything. Like the money, the supporting from the club, like it has to, they have to help the manager to buy the right players. So that's one, the money, right? And then also organization structure, just being supportive, and also the fans has to be supportive of the manager, and the players also have to play for the manager. I think that's the one thing that manager has to do well, is working with the players to bring the best out of them, because I believe in that. Like, what a good manager can really motivate the players and put them in the right mindset and really bring the true potential. Because I think the soccer, football is like really, it's confidence game, like mentality level. I think a lot of players in like EPL or championship, these top level, they have the abilities. They all do. They all have the abilities to explode, you know, one day. But who's gonna be the one to bring that out? Like, that's gonna be some manager, right? And some good opportunity that comes to them. So yeah, but I think the trend is definitely going to yeah, just getting the manager and then giving them the financial abilities, but not every club can do that. So yeah, I would say, to answer your question, it really depends. It really depends. Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts to this, or what did you think?
Yeah, again, I think it does depend. And I think it's kind of a never-ending cycle if you just keep doing that. Like, because you find yourself in a situation where half quarter of your team is from one manager, the other quarter is from a different manager. Then the new manager comes in and says, "Oh, I want my own players." Then you have players from three different managers and might not necessarily suit their style. So I think I, I want to say it is what football has actually turned to, really. It's like, well, if you're not getting the results, you're out the door. And like, I feel like
Yeah.
they should give managers more time. And I always use Jurgen Klopp as the ideal example. Yeah, Jurgen Klopp was an excellent manager before he came to Liverpool. But when he came to Liverpool, Liverpool were in turmoil. I think he came in midway through the season. Liverpool finished eighth. I think his first season, I think they finished sixth or something. But during that time, the board they backed him financially, got the recruitment correctly because Jurgen Klopp was not going out there buying $200 million players. He was buying players that he saw something in them. It's like, I can get the best out of them. He was buying rejects. He bought Salah, who was a Chelsea reject.
Mm.
Look at Salah now. He bought Mane. When he bought Mane from Southampton, everyone was like, why is he buying someone from Southampton? It's Liverpool. He
Mm.
went to go find Robertson. Was it in the second or third tier? Gave him a chance.
Yeah.
Believed in Jordan Henderson, who was supposed to leave Liverpool that season before Jurgen came in. He was supposed to leave Liverpool. Now he's the captain. And they just kind
Mhm.
of backed him. The recruitment was spot on. That's also important because you can't just go buying big name players. We're seeing it now. Like, I know it's still early, but look at Kai Havertz. He looks a mess. Look at Nicolas Pepe, 72 million. He's doing fuck all for Arsenal. It's like,
Yeah.
but they got the recruitment spot on. And now after they got the recruitment right, now you can see he has the players he wants in each position. You can see his philosophy. And that's when you start, I think that's when you start judging a manager. It's like, okay, I've
Yeah.
given them everything they need. Let's see what they can do. And if you're judging a manager, it's like, hey, we got these set of players. I don't think they're good enough, but can you make them work for like 3 seasons and possibly challenge? That's a little too much to ask, you know? I think
Yeah.
we just need to give managers a little more time and realize that the way they want to play, maybe some of these players don't fit the way they want to play, you know? Really.
Yeah.
And you can see that with like certain managers also, like these up and coming ones. I like to say I think he has a decent philosophy, but I don't think he necessarily has all of the players he needs, really. He does have great players at United, but
Yeah.
I don't think he really rates some of them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in the sense that he has to play them because they're big names. Like look at Paul Pogba. Like I don't think that's Ole's type of player really. United spent almost 100 million on him. He has to play him. He has no choice really. You know, he has to
Right.
play
Right.
him. And then look at Arteta. You see him and you look at his team and you're like, okay, on paper, Arsenal at best are a top 10 club. They're not going to challenge him. That's me being honest. Like they're a top 10 club. Look at the players he brought in. Except he's made a mistake with Willian because Willian is a shocking signing. But look at Gabriel and Partey that he brought in. Those are the two players he brought in that have arguably been our best players. And Partey has
Yeah.
been injured. And you can see that, okay, that's the type of team he wants to build. But when he only brings in two players and you give him the likes of Xhaka in midfield, Mustafi, what is he supposed to do with those type of players, you know? So they have to, he's not getting results now. And he's in a lot of deep shit right now. Like, we're 15th in the table, but if we just change another manager, they probably get a manager boost, you know? And like you said, a year later, we're probably having the same conversation, you know, if they don't
So,
really back him.
do you think the players in Arsenal are backing up Arteta, or they're kind of turning away now?
I would say some of them are turning away. And I think somebody brought up a good point that I kind of missed. I saw it online on Twitter. They said since Arsenal beat Manchester United, everything kind of went downhill from there. And after that game where they beat United, in his press conference, he said that you can see what I can do with teams, but he still needs like 6 or 7 players to actually do what he wants. And when you say that on national TV, you're basically telling the players you have, like, yeah, some of you are shit. I don't rate you. And I never looked at it that way. I'm kind of seeing it. It kind of makes sense, because like I said, the 2 players he brought in, they're pretty decent. He has some players he still likes in the team that he wants to keep, but the rest, I think he wants to personally just sell them off, and build his own team. And I think he's kind of losing some of those senior players because he's like, he probably has told them like, I don't want you here, you have to leave. But
Yeah.
he has no choice but to play them now because they're like, he can't depend on kids really. Like he can't depend on
Yeah.
19-year-olds or 20-year-olds. So he still needs some of those senior players. But if he's told them they're shit and they need to go, what can you really say? Like, why would they play for him? They're on huge salaries. If they play good, they play bad. They're going home to 200K. So, but I
Right.
still think he needs time and he needs his own players. But I do not trust the Arsenal board to back him. That's
Mm.
the only thing. And we might have to just, for his own good and his own like career and reputation, we might just have to fire him, to be honest.
Yeah. What about the young players? Do you think they're at the blame too? Because they've been getting a lot of playing time. We're already in week 14 in the Premiership. And they like Arteta, he always plays these young talents, right? But they haven't really shown results. I mean, it's always like they have those chances, they create the chances, but they can't finish. So do you think they're at the blame too, or how long do you think it's going to take for them to really start to kick off?
I think they are partly to blame, but I kind of feel for Arteta also because in the sense that he has these senior players that are not working for him. So he's kind of forced to use these young players. But at the same time, these are, like you said, these are players without experience. And I
Yeah.
guess I guess I would like it that way to use the younger players without experience. Because like if you and I'll explain that in the sense that if you have these senior players that are not doing it, these are pros. They've been at the top level for 5, 6 years and they're not working for you. I'd rather have young talents there kind of making mistakes and learning and saying that they're willing to try and fighting. So they're just going to improve and get better and learn from their mistakes. Then have these senior pros just doing whatever they want. Because like, I'm a big name player, so I can do whatever I want, really. I guess that's
Yeah.
just my take, but I think his hand is kind of forced because I think he's given his trust in some of the senior players and they've let him down. But now he's going to the youngsters and he's an inexperienced manager himself. And like inexperience for inexperience, that doesn't go well. So his hand is kind of forced. So that's what I'm hoping they back him. And if they
Yeah.
don't, they have to fire him and get a new manager and back him. And I think, even though I hate to say it, I think that's where even Spurs, they've done a good job with that, you know? Because
Mm.
Mourinho came in,
Oh, they did a great job. Yeah.
yeah, he came in midway through the season, saw the season out. And during the summer, he was like, okay, I need this, and this. Go find me those players and I can do something. And you can see what he's doing now. Even though they're not playing like great football per se, that they're dominating games, but they're still winning
Hmm.
games. And
Yeah.
again, it's a results business, really. So if you're winning games, and you can just see they went out and got the players he needed. He said he wants a fullback. Okay, here you go. Doherty and Regulion. You said you want to hold a midfielder. Bam. Here you go. Hoiberg. You said you want another striker to support Kane. Bam.
Yeah.
Vinicius.
We got
Arteta said
Bergwijn
he
too.
wanted a creative. Yeah, Bergwijn. Arteta said he wanted a creative. He's been shouting for a creative midfielder all summer. They didn't get
Mm.
him one. They got him Thomas Partey, who is basically a defensive midfielder. But he begged the board for an attacking midfielder, but they didn't give him one. Kind of set him up to fail, really. You can see our lack of creativity is showing. And they're telling it. And I think the also this decision is not only down to him. It probably has to come from higher ups too.
Yeah, I
So
agree. Yeah.
yeah, so they didn't give him a creative midfielder, and they said you can't play Ozil, who's our only creative midfielder. So what is he really supposed to do? So it's like even though he does have to take some blame for it, but it's not all on him. The board has kind of let him down. Some of his players have let him down as well. So
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen now for Arsenal? What do you want to happen as a fan?
this might be controversial for some Arsenal fans, but I'll say stick with Arteta. You
Stick with
know,
Arteta.
I,
Yeah.
I say stick with him, give him the funds and the players he wants, and let him build. And I think our goal this season should probably be not relegating. I honestly, it sounds really bad, but I think that should be our goal, and let him rebuild. Because like Arsenal is a shitstorm right now, and I think that's the only thing that'll stop us. Because if they fire him, get another manager in, like I've been saying for pretty much this whole episode, you probably get that manager boost, then a year later you're back having the same conversation.
Yeah, I just think that Arsenal should sign another striker, dude. Like, I mean, Alba is good. He's a good player, but like look at Spurs. We got Sonny, Kane, Bergwijn, and we also we just signed Vinicius. We got Bale. Like, we have a lot of players that can score, right? And Alba, like, he can score, dude. He's at their level too. He's world class, but no one's backing him up, dude. I mean, no one's like there to score with him. I mean, you guys have some players, but haven't really shown the result. And I just think that like if you guys sign another like reliable striker, I think you guys will be on the rise, dude.
Yeah,
That's
I,
my
I
take.
agree.
That's my take.
I agree with you 100%. Lacazette has not been pulling his weight. Pepe has not looked like a $72 million signing. And I agree with you. Like we can see it now. Last season, Aubameyang carried us because he was scoring on the constant,
Yeah.
and we didn't really see the other sides that nobody's really helping him out. And now he's not scoring, and it's like where the goals gonna come from. So I agree with you. We do need, if not even another striker, probably a midfielder that can score. They're like you can see Bruno Fernandez is a midfielder. He can score. You have
Yeah, yeah.
midfielders out. We need someone to back because Lacazette has not been up to par. I don't know where his form went. Pepe, same thing. Willian can fuck off out of my club. He's a we got him for free, and I feel fucking robbed. So he can fuck off and go back to Chelsea. I can't fucking believe like he's had one shot on target in 12 Premier League games. One.
Oh, your initial thought was right. I mean, remember our for a previous episode, I was like, "What are your thoughts on Williams' transfer?" You're like, we'll see how it goes."
Yeah, it's gone horrible. You gave a 32-year-old a 3-year contract on 200K a week. For fuck's sake, we could have literally gone to get probably a young player from like we could have got Ben Rama from he was doing good at Brentford before he went to West Ham. We could have got him. We could have got Buendia. We could have got Catwell. Even
Yeah.
though they're not, even if they don't pull their weight in their first season, they're still young. They can improve. But
I
he's
can see
32 years.
Catwell. I can see Catwell in Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good signing. Like we could have got those ones. We could have got Shabazlai, but he's gone to Leipzig now for 20 million and given him
Yeah.
probably half of that contract that we gave William. And these are the things that I keep saying. It comes down to the overall thing. You can't. It doesn't just come down to the manager. Because it's like
That's
that's
true.
bad business. It's bad business because like you can't sell him. There's no sell on value for William. He's probably going to go on a free, and it's like the recruitment is shit. So
Things like,
yeah,
do players want to come to Arsenal now? That's the question,
that exactly.
right?
Why would they come to Arsenal? Because like it's not like Arsenal is just the only team in for some of these players. Like now, if somebody comes in for, let's say, this is probably unrealistic, but if Arsenal goes in for Eric Holland, just for an example, why would he come to Arsenal if, let's say, a Chelsea come knocking, or a Barcelona come knocking, or a Juventus come knocking? What reason should he go to Arsenal? And those are the kind of things like he gets Champions League football, and other stuff. And it's like, who wants, and I feel like this is where we have to be smart in recruiting. Go to the championship, pull up players. Klopp did it. He pulled up Robertson from who knows where, fuck all. And look at him, probably arguably the best left back in the world right now.
He's a
You know?
tank, dude. He's a tank.
Exactly. It's like it's not, and I think that's football has been ruined in the sense that everyone thinks big money signings are just gonna fix everything, you know. Sometimes you have to go find those gems, you know. Look at Jamie Vardy. He was playing in, was it fifth tier football before he made a move? And look at him. Incredible. So it's like recruiting right, really, you know, going to the lower leagues, getting a player, finding the manager that can get the best out of that player, like you said earlier, that can go a long way compared to just spending 200 million on a player that might not necessarily work, you know?
Yeah. I think Arsenal's got to really turn it around now because if they don't at least get to the middle of the table, the recruitment attraction is going to be shit because no one at the top level talent. They rather go to like top 5 teams, you know, for like either Bundesliga or EPL. Like they wouldn't like from there. I feel like the recruiting for Arsenal is gonna get way tougher. They're gonna get I don't know more risky transfers, and then you know they gotta yeah they gotta keep yeah it's gonna be a rough road dude, down the line yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this model they're going with super agents now. And that's just that's a bad that's a bad thing right now. I don't know if you know about Kia Jarachkin, or how do you ever pronounce his name? He's basically a super agent. He's like what's his name? Pogba's agent, Mino, and like
Mino?
Collins' agent. Yeah,
Firmino?
they're no Mino, I think Raiola or something. He's like
Mino
this he gets
Raiola, yeah.
yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
those super agents. Once you get in bed with them, it's really tough. Apparently, Kia Joachim is David Luiz and Williams' agent, and since he has a relationship with Edu, I think he kind of forced their moves to stay in London and stuff like that. And like that's a really horrible bed to get into, you know?
Isn't that crazy? Just one person, the agent just
Yeah, because
making your
yeah, they're super
yeah.
agents. They have a lot of pulling power, and like they have a lot of power, and it's like once they start running your club is in turmoil and stuff like that because you don't want to ruin your relationship with them because they're still agents of like top talent players, you know, and those
Yeah.
are like sometimes you can get like decent players from them because they're still super agents, but once they you give them a lot of power in your club, it's kind of like it's a shit show, and that's my fear really. Is like getting in bed with him and like other super agents might actually be the downfall of Arsenal, you know? And I think we just need to take a step back, rebuild, recruit right. Because our recruiting has been shit. Like when we signed Xhaka, we signed Xhaka for 35 million. That time Leicester was going to sell Conte. Conte was arguably the best defensive midfielder in the world. You remember that season they won the league.
Yeah.
And Leicester wanted, guess how much they wanted? 40 million. All we had to do was add an extra 5 million for a world-class player. We said no and went to go get a Xhaka for 35. And you're like, I don't know. Like, that's come back to hunt us now to buy. Same thing with Mustafi. 35 million for Mustafi. He doesn't look more than 10 million, if you ask me. 10 million is even a stretch. And decisions like that, it's decisions like that that kind of hurt, you know? Because you're like, if we just did this right, you know, we could have
Yeah.
got probably a better player. Like, look at Conte. He's 30 now or 29. He's still a tank engine in that midfield for Chelsea. And he has been for the past 4 years. That could have been the difference, you know?
Yeah. Do you think Mustafi and Zaka is just not a fit to Arteta style? Do you think like these are the players that like these two players were not signed by him, right?
Yeah. I don't think they fit his style at all. I don't think Xhaka fits the Premier League to be honest, period.
Mm.
I think he's not mobile enough. He's too slow. He gets caught on the ball a little too much. He has rash decision making, you know. So I don't think he's
Red.
fit for the. I think he's fit for a slower league like the Bundesliga, something like that. That's where he did come from, where he was really good, like where the pace is
Yeah.
not as fast, you know, and he has time on the ball. In Premier League, they barely give you any time. That's why players like Bruno Fernandes and Kevin De Bruyne, the way their footwork is, it makes them incredible players because like you put pressure on them, it's like that's advantage to them if you put pressure on him, really, not a
Yeah.
disadvantage to them. So yeah, but Xhaka, people know that. Like just pressure Xhaka. Like he's gonna make a mistake. If he makes a mistake, he's 99% of the time gonna foul you and probably get a yellow card, then react and get a red card and let his team down. So I don't think these are the Arteta's players. I think Arteta wants a more mobile midfield, and I can see that with the signing of Thomas Partey because he can break up play. He's pretty mobile. He could dribble. You know, he can get around the park, and I don't think Xhaka can do that. So you can see that with him, really. So
Yeah.
I just hope for the best, really, for them. Whatever happens, really happens. You know, it's kind of sad to see our whole fan base split into two. Some people want him gone, some people want him to stay, some people want different things. And I'm just like, I'm just kind of I think there's a bigger issue here than just the manager, really. Yeah,
This is the man who won the FA Cup, though.
exactly. But I think the board failed him in the summer. They really did. They didn't give him the right tools.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he had his vision with the club. He had a couple players that he wanted to sign. It just looks like that the stylistic difference is really showing, with the players and Arteta right now. And
Yeah.
how do you get out of that? Signing more players, right? Players that he want.
I
So
don't know if that's gonna help even. Like I think that's my biggest dilemma. And I think that's where I'm split between our fan base being split, even because people are like, get a new manager, that will fix the issue and get us out of this. People are like, sign more players and keep him, that will get us out of this. But I honestly don't know what's gonna get us out of this. Like, I really don't know. Will new players get us out of this? I don't know. Will a new manager get us out of this? I couldn't tell you, you know.
well,
So I think that's where I'm split.
I'll tell you, Idris, I'll tell you. Listen, Idris, they just need a experienced and kind of young, maybe 25 to 30 forward and a central attacking midfielder. That's what they need. That's what they need, dude.
Probably.
What's their style? I don't see like the style. I don't see like what's the Arsenal style. The counter attack used to be like a thing. Like the tiki taka. Arsenal had their own style before, right? When like Santi was playing,
Mhm.
Alexis Sanchez was playing. Like they had their own style, but I don't see that anymore. What's their style they're trying to play? I don't see it.
But do we have the players for it?
I
I
think you
don't
guys
think
do.
so. I don't think we do because I think the most important position in football is the midfield, regardless of what anybody says. Like, of course, your attackers will score, your defense does this, but without midfielders, like quality midfielders, you kind of lose a game before it even starts. And I think that's the issue with Arsenal right now. Because I feel like if we have a pretty stable midfield that can connect a defensive transition to an attack, we'll be decent. Like you just said, you don't see our style. Like there's a disconnect because the ball is going from our defenders straight to our forwards over like 60 yards of the pitch. So it's like our midfield is empty. Nobody's transitioning. Nobody's carrying the ball, breaking the lines, making that pass, and like it's kind of
Yeah.
tough. And I think that's what Murillo got in Hoiberg. Even though he does the simple things, he breaks up the tackle. He just does the simple things. He can just turn defense into attack. He breaks up a tackle, and he probably just plays a pretty short pass. But we don't have anyone that does that. Even if we if we even get the ball, then we have Xhaka doing a 360 just to pass it back to our keeper, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, pass it forward. You know, we really don't
Bro,
have anyone that does
I
that.
don't see Ceballos, dude. I don't see him at all in the game. Like that's the thing. Like I feel like Arsenal, they always try to run the ball up at the side. Like it works with Tierney sometimes. Like he's a beast, right? So that's why it works sometimes, right? But like you guys are relying heavy on him, like Tierney, right back,
Mhm.
just like putting crosses for the attackers. That's why I'm saying like you guys need. I feel like if for my like
Crosses
it's my
to
opinion, but it's like we just need
yeah,
someone in the center, kind of like playing like Bruno, like just do
exactly.
half decent as Bruno, but doesn't matter. Just a center midfielder that's gonna like controlling and they're just adjusting the game for all the attackers and the defender just adjusting the line overall. I think that's what you guys need. I
Yeah,
think
and exactly, I agree with what you
no
just
one does
said.
that. No
Like,
one does that at
like,
Arsenal.
like, no one. We don't have the player to do that. So Bias is not that player that drives with
Yeah,
the ball, you know. And one thing I really want to see probably Saka playing that middle, Bakayo Saka, because he for a 19-year-old, he's fearless, and I think he can drive at players and go past them. I really want to see him in the middle, but like out wide, he's pretty good. And like you said, they're always playing it out wide to
yeah,
cross to who? It's not like we have Harry Kane or Dominic Calvert-Lewin in our box that's like good
yeah,
in the air. Aubameyang has scored like 2 goals with his head for Arsenal. He's not
yeah,
going to score a header. So
yeah.
like
He's not.
that cross it because like Tierney is doing a great job. Like he puts some good crosses in, but like
Hmm.
I don't blame him because like it's either he does that or he passes it back, you know. And I don't think he's that type. Turney has that fight in him that he's not that type of player to always pass back, you know. He always wants to go forward and he
Yeah,
plays it in. And like you said, we just need that midfielder that can drive because once you drive, you commit players really. So it's either they get the ball or they foul you. And Sabias is not that player. He's more of a deep line playmaker, I'll say, in the sense that if you're trying to press, like
yeah,
how most teams press these days, he can get out of a press, then pass it to someone that's going to drive. But if you want him to drive, he's too slow for that, you know. We really,
yeah.
really need, and I like your point. I never thought about us needing a second striker because we have Laka, but yeah, I think we do need another striker. And if we don't buy one, give Balogun. I don't know if you've seen him play, but he's a pretty young prospect, and I think
Lugo
giving him Balogun.
on logo. Yeah, I never seen him. Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty. I've seen him play a few times. He's pretty solid. And I think playing him alongside probably Aubameyang and let him learn his trade would be beneficial to him. You know,
yeah.
we just need to try something different, and I think that's where Arteta takes some of the blame. He's too stubborn to try something different, really. You know,
Really, I
so
think he's so trying so many different things. I think that's why Arteta's there. You know, he's trying something new every time. What do you think?
I think he's trying something new every time, but with
I
the
mean, like
same
in terms of
players.
players, yeah, same players. Yeah, I like how he's putting new players, young players, but stylistically, yeah, I want to see like maybe Saka in the mid, like try that out, right?
Yeah,
Or
try it out. Try that out. Try something in the bed, you know. Go drop William, play a different style. Try to play through the middle. You know, I think, and somebody brought up this good point online again. They said Arsenal players are scared to just drive at a player, you know? It's like, okay, let me try to beat this man 1 for 1, you know? If they just see somebody on them, like one-on-one situation, they just pass back. And I think they bring up a good point, you know? Because you see some of those great players. You see Bruno. If Bruno is one-on-one with a player, he's gonna drive past them. He doesn't care really. Same thing with De Bruyne, Sonny, Bale, Bergwijn.
yeah,
You met Sterling, Mahrez, James Madison, Harvey Barnes. I can go on, but no
yeah,
Arsenal player really does that. Pepe is supposed to do that, but I think he's not given that freedom. You know? All they have to, and I think he doesn't get help from other players. That midfield player that's gonna run past him and draw a player. Because once Pepe gets the ball, they just put 2 people on him. You know, he has no choice but to pass back. You know, he's always in a situation where it's 2 against 1. But if we had that midfield player that's running past him, somebody has to follow that midfield player, or just an easy pass, you know. So there's so many things that's going on, and
You know, yeah, I agree. I feel you. Do you know who I actually want to see in center mid for Arsenal? This might sound crazy, but I think Willian's gonna work, dude.
William,
Yeah.
I don't think he cares. It might work, but I don't think he gives a flying fuck about Arsenal, really. I he's just there for literally to be retired. That's his retirement home. I kid you not. He's absolute shit. Like
Dude,
it's
he's good
I
though.
don't
Come
think
on. Like he's
he
like I
would
think he needs more time, bro. He needs more time. Like his
no,
Chelsea days.
he's been in the Premier League for 10 years. I'm not giving him any time to settle down. He does not deserve any time. He's been at this level. He's supposed to be that senior player that those young players go to and be like, show me what I'm supposed to do. But he's not doing anything. And he can fuck off. I'll drive him back to fucking whatever west side of London that Chelsea is. He can go fucking do whatever he wants to do. He needs to leave my club. He is the worst signing we've had.
You're gonna
It's a
drive him to
shit
Stamford
storm.
Bridge.
I would
You're
drive him.
driving
I
back.
would buy a plane ticket to. I'll buy a plane ticket to England, rent a car, and drive him back to Stamford Bridge. Oh, fuck. He is so frustrating. And it's like when you see him play like that and he keeps playing, it begs the question. You said the same thing about Mesut Ozil. He's too lazy. He doesn't do this. At least Mesut Ozil, he'll create a chance. I can put anything on that. If Mesut Ozil doesn't do anything, he doesn't track back, he doesn't tackle, is passive in the game, he will create at least 3 chances. That be a pre-assist, like a fancy pass to someone, then crosses through one of our strikers or something. He will create. Willian is not doing nothing. He's not creating. He's not defending. He's being passive. He's not doing anything, but he gets game time. And those decisions are on Mikel Arteta. And I think that's where he brings pressure to himself. Because he's the one making those decisions. He's the one picking Willian week in, week out. He's the one not giving Reece Nelson a chance, who looks a proper baller and not afraid to beat people, take them one-on-one, run with them, not giving Emil Smith role, not giving certain players. And you're
Oh,
like, okay,
Nelson's a
he took
beast. Nelson's a beast. Yeah, I forgot about Nelson.
exactly. And you see
Yeah.
Willian playing, and you're like, why is Nelson not? So you're telling me Nelson will not do a better job than Willian. And even though he doesn't, he's still a young kid. You can understand that. Willian's been at the top level. He's won trophies, for crying out loud. He knows what it means. And he's just doing fuck all, you know? It's just frustrating.
I don't know, man. I just feel like Willian, like I don't see him as like a goal scorer type, but he just gives,
Really good long ball passes, and he can definitely play at the fast pace.
But he's not doing it. That's the thing. We know what he can do, but he's not doing it because he doesn't give a fuck.
I want to see him in the center, dude. I want to see him in the center. I think, yeah, I'll message Arteta. I'll message Arteta and see if he can do that.
Nah, I need him to fuck off in January.
Oh, they're gonna sign a 5-year deal with Arsenal for Aurelian.
I need him to fuck off. And there are rumors that Ericsson might come to Arsenal. Like, why are we taking reject players? Like, really? Even though I think Ericsson he walks into our midfield, but like he's been affiliated with Spuds. We don't want him. He can fuck off too. That move did not work out for him. That's kind of sad because he kind of forced that move, you know.
Yeah.
So, and you can see Murillo is getting the best out of your players now. It's just frustrating, but yeah, this kind of took a turn, but it's still on the same subject of managers, you know, and what we think. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So wait, so Chelsea did not want to give a 3-year contract for Willian, but Arsenal gave him a contract. What do you think about that decision?
I think that's a shit decision from Arsenal. A shit. Why? Okay, think about it this way, Jim. Right? Let's say I'm Chelsea. I want to keep Willian. And I'm like, all right, you're 32.
Yeah.
You want 200K a week. And you also want a 3-year contract. I can't really do that because by then you're going to be 35. Bargain with me. I'll give you a year. I'll give you the 200K and I'll give you an option to extend an extra year. So that's 2 years at max. So if you don't want him after the first year, he could go.
Yeah.
Then you are Arsenal. You come along and the player's like, well, would you guys take me? I really want to stay in London. I'm just asking for 200K. And just give me a 3-year deal. As a business person, forget you being football. What would you say to that? Like,
Yeah, dude.
exactly. Like, what do you do? Be like, okay, I guess he said he wants to stay in London. I guess we'll do that for him. And he's just asking for 200K a week and a 3-year deal. Really? Really? We could have gone to Norwich and got Todd Cantwell and given probably 50K, a 4-year contract, probably would have cost us probably at most 20 million. And if he doesn't work in the first season, he can always improve,
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me. It's like, fuck, what? He's 32 for crying out loud. We just gave Aubameyang, who's 31 because he's our best player,
Yeah.
a 3-year deal on almost 300K a week. And you go give a 32-year-old? It's like, god damn, like the business is poor. Fuck.
Bro, they're saying that Arsene Wenger Willian would have never been on his agenda. Plus, they're saying that Willian got signed because there's a sports director in Arsenal. They have the same agent or something as Willian, so it's kind of like an easy way of just lazy, I guess.
The easy way is like, okay, he has Premier League. I don't fucking care if he has Premier League experience. Like no club in their right mind, at least in the Premier League, signs Willian. And you can see it. Nobody really wanted him. Chelsea were ready to let him go. Like we could have got so many better players with the money we were spending on Willian. It's like now we have 3 players on over 200K, and they're barely doing anything. Because Aubameyang, he's out of form. I love Aubameyang, but he's been shit this season. Ozil is getting paid to play fucking Fortnite, so we have that. And Willian is doing fuck all. So it's like, and that's why I'm like, we have to sort out our recruitment. Like this super agent, this is my friend. Nah, this is a business in a football club. Even if you're running it as a business, that is horrible business. That's literally so bad business, That's like your whatever company you work at, hiring like someone who's like 70 and they want to retire in the next 2 years and saying, hey, here you go. You can work for us. We'll give you $3 million a year salary,
Yeah.
It's like it's horrible business, and you're just like,
that's a good way of putting
that?
It.
Yeah, and I think we, as fans, we really didn't understand Arsene Wenger in the sense that he probably wasn't back, and he would rather go buy, those shit players, or not shit players. He would rather go buy those young players for small fees and try to improve them, really, instead of going to go buy players that are about to retire. And I honestly respect him for that,
Yeah, definitely.
I have to respect him for that, because no matter how much we complained, he gave youngsters a chance. He believed in some players. Like, look at Giroud. I mean, when he bought Giroud was the top goal scorer in, I think it was Ligue 1 with Montpellier.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't he wasn't a big name, and like Arsene Wenger believed in him, gave him a chance and stuff like that. He did decent. I think he was kind of disrespected at Arsenal, but I think he did fairly decent, even though I think he still has blood on his hands from the season Leicester won the because he just stopped scoring for like 12 games, but
Yeah.
he believed in him and he gave him a chance. He could have gone to buy any like already established player really and stuff like that. And you just have to respect him, like professor and stuff. And now you're seeing the way the club is running. You're like, no wonder Arsene Wenger made all those decisions because fuck, we have this club is run horribly. And something that annoys me is
What?
that if you're gonna run this as a business, right?
Hmm.
The goal is to make money, right? And
Sure.
you have to
Hmm.
invest to make money, correct?
Yes.
So what I don't understand is like, let's say we invest heavily. Our owner gives us, let's say we stack our tether, get another manager, experienced manager, give him the money he wants, let him build his team. Let's say
Hmm.
we spend 500 million doing that.
Yeah.
We end up being a great team. We win the Premier League, we win the Champions League, we win all these trophies. At the end of the day, don't you think they'll recoup the money they invested from prize money? I honestly think they make their money back in in 5 years. And if you ask me that, that's good business, really.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
If you
If they
ask me
buy the
that,
right players, yes, I think so.
yeah, buy the right players and win all those trophies, they recoup their money back. So that's what I don't understand. It's like, okay, your goal is you're running this like just a regular old business. Your goal is to make money. Why not do that? You basically recoup your investment, really, you make your money back. And that's what I don't understand. Because like if we're 15th or 10th, we're barely making any money. We're just losing more money.
Yeah.
And that's what frustrates me. Because it's like, I thought you guys were business worthy. Because any business knows that. Any business knows, okay, you invest to make money. You can't just sit there and be like, I hope this works.
It reminds me of like when QPR just got promoted to Premier League. They signed Tarab, Adel Tarab. They had Townsend. They signed Ji Sung Park, and they just spent
Philip Wright, yeah, they spent a
yeah, Philip
shit
Wright's
ton of money.
shit ton of money, and look what happened, dude. They got, I think they got relegated that season.
Yeah, and this is where it comes back to you have to recruit right well also. Because you
Exactly.
can't just go you can't just go be buying big name players. You have to spend the money in the right places. So yeah. So it might work, it might not work, but it also comes down to recruiting and spending in the right places and stuff like that. So
I'm more of a person that just buy, get one player or just one or two, and then get like really good ones, rather than just like spending in here and there, like for example, like because just Jisung Park, where he was a legend, one of the legends in Menu, like he was really good, but I mean he was ready for retirement, and then his form was not there, and like things like that. They gotta watch out for those, like who to actually sign. Are these players what they can really bring to the team? And yeah, like you just can't buy everyone, like 12 players, and then just hoping that they would just work well together. Like it doesn't work like that, I think.
yeah. I agree. Like look at Bruno, what he did to United.
Yeah, he saved Man United pretty much, turned it around. In midfielder, wow, as every game, like we seen him the Champions League game in PS. I think it was PSG. When Bruno was not there, they were getting trashed. But once Bruno came in, oh boy, they look like a different team.
Yeah, and they spent the money right.
Oh,
They they
dude,
they they realize what, and again, like you've been saying, you have to realize what you need and buy that one player,
I
or two
know,
players.
dude. Yeah, exactly.
And I think, and I'm scared Arsenal are not going to do that in January. They know what they need, but are they going to go out and go get what they need? I don't think so. I have generally, I do not think so.
They're in
Because
trouble then if they don't.
they, and
Yeah.
I honestly think Arsenal are going to go out in January and they're probably just going to go buy a new goalkeeper. That's the type of shit Arsenal will do.
I actually would want to see one more goalkeeper in Arsenal though. Yeah. But like that's not what they need though, you know? That's
Exactly.
not what they
That's what I'm
need.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's not what they need. What they need right now, like you said, a creative midfielder and possibly another striker or someone that can score goals. Doesn't necessarily have to be a striker. It could be a winger that can
Yeah.
score goals. Someone to assist in the goal scoring. So yeah, but are they going to go
Dude,
do that? I don't know.
Idris, I feel like Arsenal, whenever they attack on the side, like people who shouldn't attack on the side, they're driving the ball on the side. That's how I feel like. I feel like Saka would be better, like just playing up top or in the center. You know, I mean, he can dribble past people like we've seen it, but I don't know. I just don't see him and like other guys on the side driving up the ball. You know, I don't know. I feel like players are playing the wrong position. I feel like it just feels weird. I don't know. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just turned into a rant about me and Arsenal.
I feel for you,
Yeah,
bro. You know, we, it used to be like there's a lot of comments now like if Forsnell is like a compliment now. Like,
right.
do you know that one? And then
Yeah,
a lot of people are talking about like championship now. You know, I
and,
don't know. Yeah,
and it's the harsh reality though. Like we put ourselves in this situation, really, with horrible recruiting, horrible management over the past years. So we have no one to blame, and it has to be built from the ground up.
yeah,
So,
that's right.
I can only hope for the best, really.
Yes, the next game's against Chelsea. Let's see what happens then.
No, we're gonna get murdered. Havertz is gonna
At,
have a masterclass. Havertz,
at this pace, yeah,
Havertz hat trick, Werner
Havertz
hat
hat trick.
trick, Werner hat trick, Giroud hat trick. That one is
Yeah,
inevitable.
I think they're
Giroud
gonna play
hat
Giroud.
trick.
Yeah, because that's gonna play mind games on Arsenal bad. You know, because former Arsenal player. You know.
They're guaranteed a goal or assist. So
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm hoping the best for you, Idris. You know, I used to, hate Arsenal, as a Spurs fan, but now, you know,
you only feel pity.
we want that rivalry, always in the EPL. Like it's like Portsmouth and Southampton. I think like there was one documentary that how fans felt when Southampton went up and Portsmouth, like it was for them, it was all downfall. Like everything was changed. Like at the same time they hated each other, but at the same time it's like they missed them, right? Because of the derby and the rivalry. It's kind of like that. But yeah, we'll
Wow.
see. We'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, any closing remarks?
Oh yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. We do this for you guys, and break that like button and subscribe button. Hit that, smash that. Don't stop, never stop, won't stop believing. Yeah. So thanks for listening. Shout out to my friend Idris, keeping this up with me every week. Pleasure and hoping best for Arsenal. Idris?
Yeah, again, make sure you destroy that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Share this with your friends. Put it on your OnlyFans. Put it on whatever you have. Put it on wherever you have. Thank you for the support. I know this was a really lengthy episode, but gives you something to listen through the holidays. Me and June will be out for the holidays, so we'll be back in 2 weeks with more
Yep.
episodes for you guys. But I hope everyone enjoys the holidays. Make sure you stay safe, enjoy time with your family. Don't watch Arsenal play unless you're going to be depressed. And yeah, see you till
Alrighty.
then.
Peace out.
Peace.
Enchanté.